What's up, movie lovers? I'm Mike, and this is Gotta Love Them Movies. Oh, you guys, welcome back to another edition of Gotta Love Them Movies, your daily dose of movie news. I'm your host, Mr. Mike Brown. I'm here all the time. And ladies and gentlemen, today is kind of a rainy, drizzle. It's dismal and it's dreary, so I'm calling it drizzle. Today's a little bit of a drizzle day in the New York cities. I hope it's bright and shiny where you are. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. And if you're joining us, you're here to talk about movies. You're here to hear what we have to say about a host of things that have just come out in the news today. Some things have come out in the news today. Some things are old news, and we'll sort through some of that stuff. And to help me talk about today's movie news is a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for quite a long time. A fellow flight attendant. We're not going to tell you what company we work for, but we do fly the, sometimes friendly skies. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for a very good friend of mine, Mr. Will C. Carr. Woo, 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 woo.
Hello.
Will.
Hi, everybody.
How
How's
you
it
doing,
going?
man? Long time no see.
Doing really well. It's nice to see you. Just, hang out here, just watching the rain go by.
Remind me, you live in Jersey City, right?
Not quite. I live in Nutley, which is about 20 minutes from small
okay.
town. Yeah, close enough.
I knew, I knew you're somewhere around there. It's weird. The flight attendant community, everybody's spread out all over North Jersey. So I'm always there's too many people to keep track of. And of course, keeping track of things, Will, means pointing out sometimes the obvious. And two obvious things that I would love to point out right now is you have the child behind you, also known as Baby Yoda. What kind of figure or doll or particular plush is this?
This is the one that came out, I want to say, late in the summer. Is the plush one. I don't know. You can kind of see it everywhere.
I want one. I want one so bad.
I know. I saw it one time. I was like, oh, should I get it? And I was like, I resisted. But then I couldn't go to, the store and see it and be like, just keep ignoring it. I felt so cruel. I love Baby Yoda so much.
You have to rescue him.
I felt like I was just leaving him there in the adoption agency, and he was just like, "Oh, get me out of here!" I was like, "I can't fail you, Baby Yoda. I have to take you down."
Yes, you are Mando. You have taken up the armor, the Mandalorian armor. You are finding the child a new home. And speaking of homes, ladies and gentlemen, this is my home, YouTube. So if you have a chance, if you haven't already done so, please, I highly encourage you, go over to youtube.com, type in Gotta Love Them Movies. You'll see a little red button in the top right-hand corner that says subscribe. Go ahead and click that button. What clicking that button does is it helps us to widen our subscriber base. But Mike, you say, we're watching this on Facebook Live. Why do I have to go over to YouTube and type and click on your subscription channel? Well, Billy Batson, thank you so much for that question. That's a wonderful question. Here's why. Because with the more subscriptions we have, the more watched content the channel gets. And with the more watched content the channel gets, I get to make this my full-time job by earning ad revenue. So I very much appreciate you going over and clicking that subscribe button. And of course, as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, the show will be moving from Facebook to YouTube. So just something to be aware of on the horizon. All right, guys, so with all of that down and out of the way, now it's time to take a little bit of movie news.
What?
All right, you guys, let's jump over and take one thing at a time. While that video was playing, I took a drink, a sip of my drink, and I just spilled water all over my leg. I'm not going to show you because it's not a pretty picture. It's not the pretty picture. But just know that my leg is soaking wet right now. But you know what else is soaking wet? the love that we have for Taika Waititi. Ladies and gentlemen, today a Christmas commercial. I guess some people can argue it's too early for Christmas. We haven't even had Thanksgiving yet. Well, I argue it is never too early for Christmas. I'm one of those people. Get over it, right? So a new commercial for Taika for Coca-Cola. It's not a Taika Waititi property, but it was a commercial, a Coca-Cola commercial directed by Taika Waititi. I've got to say, you guys, like, nobody speaks in the entire commercial. There are no words, but my goodness, does this commercial ever pull at your heartstrings? I'm not going to give away what happens because I want it to be like a surprise to everyone when you see it. But when you think about the insane amount of work that Taika Waititi has on his hands right now, I mean, a couple of years ago, he just finished up Thor Ragnarok. He's executive producing What We Do in the Shadows. Of course, you know, he already did What We Do in the Shadows, like the movie before, but now he's executive producing the television show. He's working on Thor Love and Thunder. He's got some other projects in the works. He's acting in other things. He's directing episodes of The Mandalorian. This is a busy guy, and he just found some time to do a commercial. First of all, who does that? Answer, Taika Waititi does. That's who does that. I love almost everything that Taika Waititi touches. In fact, I'll go so far as to say I can't think of a single project associated with Taika Waititi that I haven't enjoyed. I can't think of one. In this commercial for Coca-Cola is no exception. You guys, if you have a chance, definitely just go Google or get on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're already there. So just look up this commercial. It is so sweet and so heartwarming, and it just makes my heart soar with happiness that Taika Waititi did this with his busy schedule. Will, you've had a chance to see this commercial. Am I talking this commercial up? I mean, it's just a Coca-Cola ad. It's just a commercial advertising Coca-Cola. It's not that special in what it's advertising, but its message is ridiculously beautiful. Am I blowing this out of proportion, or does this commercial live up to the hype?
No, it's really good. And I would just like to say before we start that as far as we know, like, we were told that Thanos destroyed all the stones with the stones, but
True.
I'm pretty sure we never saw him destroy the time stone, like we weren't there. So I'm thinking that's how Taika Waititi has time to do all the things that he does.
What?
Oh, putting it out there.
Right there. Right there. There's your time stone right there.
You
Can't
got it.
smash this. Maybe I should drink out of this from now on. My Thanos Infinity Gauntlet mug. But Will, as you were saying,
Yeah, I mean, it was a very solid commercial, and you know, the Coca-Cola Christmas commercials have always been, you know, pretty emotional as they were, but this one, you watch it and, like, as it progresses, you're like, oh my God, and you know, he has a gift to, like, really, you know, manipulate your emotions, you know, in a good way, and you know, it was super emotional. By the end of the commercial, I was like holding back tears. It's like, oh my gosh.
oh, I know. It was heartwarming. And you're exactly right. You're holding back tears. I'm one of those people, and I assume, Will, you're one of these people as well, that, like, when you get emotionally invested in a project or a property, or if there's something that you care about, like, I think I was more emotionally connected with this commercial knowing that it was directed by Taika Waititi. And so, like, that's why I love, like, all of these properties behind me, like Batman, Superman, the Avengers movies, Jurassic Park, favorite movie of all time.
Yep.
We get emotionally attached to these things, and we see ourselves as the protagonist. So in this commercial, You guys, it's only like a 60-second commercial. And to go on this emotional journey from the beginning to the end, to have it be a little bit of like an emotional roller coaster ride, my goodness. My goodness. This guy, he really knows what he's doing. But the big question is for you guys, what do you think of the new commercial, the new Coca-Cola commercial directed by Taika Waititi? Have you seen it? And if so, did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys, moving on to a bit of movie news number 2. You may have heard of a little project called American Horror Story. Well, yesterday, on Ryan Murphy's Instagram, he dropped the new like what do you want to call it? Like a new picture, a new advertisement. Here, let's scroll down a little bit. Hopefully this page loads. There you go. This is, I mean, it's mildly disconcerting. I mean, it's something that I see and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool looking. But also, like, it's a little gross. It's a little grotesque. Obviously, whoever's mouth this is, like, obviously it's representative of the overall feeling of the upcoming season for American Horror Story. Apparently, somebody just had their tongue tattooed. Their teeth are sharpened to a point. Like I said, it's a little disconcerting. But Will, are you an American Horror Story fan? And if you are, or if not, either way, how does this photo strike you? Like, what images does this evoke for you?
Well, as far as Horror Story, I'm kind of, some seasons have been hit or miss for me. I really like Coven. I think it's the one I like the best. As far as this season, the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw this picture was Street Sharks. So I'm like, I'm for that.
You mean like the 90s cartoon, Street Sharks? And there's like 4,
Yep.
It's like the Ninja Turtles,
Yep.
but with sharks?
Yes.
I loved that. I hated it, but I loved it.
Yeah, same thing here. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much into the supernatural is gonna tap into. I don't know if it's gonna say, go the way of being like full-on swamp creatures, or just being people who might be part of a cult and that alter their bodies and
Oh, that's an interesting
do some
take.
kind of scary things.
That's an interesting take on it. That's a perspective that I haven't thought of before. And this article points out something interesting, which is a few months ago, Ryan Murphy again, he's always one for like not spoilers, but like really light Easter eggs. And a few months ago, he put out a photo of kind of like a beach resort, not a beach resort, but kind of like a hideaway and like water in the background, kind of like from a porch perspective, like somebody standing on a porch taking this beautiful kind of picturesque picture. And people I've seen online, a few people have started theorizing that it's possible that the picture from a few months ago combined with the picture that just dropped last night, it's possible it's kind of evoking some thoughts and emotions of Jaws. Maybe people who are like piranha type creatures. I'm starting to think of like body horror type stuff, like if David Cronenberg. I know they tried to do that in the latest Fantastic Four movie, which was completely terrible. But if they kind of use like a human centipede as an inspiration for like a body horror kind of a thing in the direction of Jaws, that could be really interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, and hopefully, a lot of his shows are period pieces. So if this takes place in the 70s, then that would be even more cool.
Man, hit the nail on
really
the head.
Take that Jaws.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, It could happen simultaneously. This Jaws was in
Yep.
Amity Island. Maybe who knows? Maybe this is in San Francisco. Who knows? Like that would be really cool. Interesting. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Have you had a chance to see the new photo that Ryan Murphy dropped on his Instagram? What do you think of it? What are your theories as to what you think the 10th season of American Horror Story is going to be about? Jump down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, you guys. Speaking of sharks. Speaking of sharks. This is not movie news. This is a movie that came out 2 years ago. And I literally just found out about this about an hour and a half ago. And I am completely enamored with this film. I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, I've only been aware of its existence. Oh man, you guys. Santa Jaws. This is okay. So it's a sci-fi movie property. It's in the same vein as like Sharknado. It's about a boy who gets grounded, and he's kind of like a graphic artist or like he's an aspiring comic book artist. He gets grounded. He's not allowed to go to the latest comic book Christmas expo, and to get at his parents and to be angry, he draws a shark with a Santa hat on it. And somehow, some way, this shark has now been manifested into reality. And so now there's the shark with a candy cane spike on its forehead, wearing Santa's hat on its dorsal fin, swimming around, eating people on Christmas Day. I could not be more excited for this movie. This is the kind of thing that's right up my alley. Like I said, this is not new. This came out 2 years ago, and I can't wait to drop what I'm doing so I can go watch Santa Jaws. Will, are you as excited for Santa Jaws as I am? And if not, what's wrong with you?
No, I also had no idea at all about this movie until it was brought to my attention, and I watched the trailer, and I'm like, I'm all here for it. I love this kind of Christmas movies. I always make it a point to watch Krampus on Christmas season. That's, another hot take on Christmas. So why not? Let's do it. Definitely going to be there on my holiday watch list, and I'll be checking it out.
Okay. I just need to read a few reviews from IMDb. This is coming from IMDb about Santa Jaws. One of the better of sci-fi's shark films. A campy delight. I'm not reading the whole thing. I'm just reading the headlines. A campy delight. A new gold standard in Christmas shark movies. I didn't even know that was a genre. Santa Jaws 2, please. Sequel. And the last review, the headline for it is just simply called Masterpiece. Masterpiece. Will, did you watch the trailer for this at all? Like what do you think this movie is like really about?
I watched the trailer. I liked it. And I don't really know what this movie is about, but then I also think that that's kind of the point. It's just to sit back and just let it blow you away, I guess.
Oh, man. Did you ever see the movie? It came out in theaters last year. I think it's on Amazon Prime right now. It's called Crawl. It's about this woman in... You've seen it?
Yeah.
For
really
anyone
good.
who hasn't seen it, it's a woman in Florida. There's a hurricane moving through. The entire city's been evacuated. Her father is like digging his heels in the ground and saying, no, I'm not going to evacuate. I'm staying in my house. And so this girl is like, well, this can't be. So she goes to her dad's place to get him out of there. And of course, crocodiles or alligators or whatever they are start invading like this town, and they find where this girl is, and It's really cheesy. It's really campy. It has that B horror movie aspect to it, but it was really well done. It was really fun. Is it a great movie? No, no, it's not. But it's fun. It's a great way to pass the time and just have a little bit of a nail biter. Um, Santa Jaws is not going to be at the same quality. I just know it. I just know it. I mean, like, you watch the trailer. The shark flying through the air, biting people in half with a Santa hat on its dorsal fin. The CGI is terrible. It's complete garbage. I dare say it's worse than what they did in Sharknado. However, come on, you guys. This just looks fun and delightful and silly. But what I want to know is, have you guys seen the trailer to Santa Jaws? Have you seen the movie? Have you seen the movie Santa Jaws? It's been out for 2 years. I only just recently learned about this. And now I think this is going to be my new my new favorite Christmas movie. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts about Santa Jaws. All right, guys, let's move on to our next bit of movie news. Today, was it today? Yeah, I think it was this morning. The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. The trailer just premiered for a brand new series of shorts coming out on Disney Plus. If you're not familiar, Disney Plus has hired a whole bunch of people at Disney to create a brand new series of Mickey Mouse shorts, where you have Mickey Mouse and Minnie and Donald and Daisy and Goofy, and they just kind of go off on these old, like, ridiculous, journeys. Very much in the style of Looney Tunes, very much in the style of the original kind of like Mickey Mouse cartoons, and the ones that have endured forever. Will, did you ever watch like Mickey Mouse cartoons growing up? Do you still watch Mickey Mouse cartoons? And are you looking forward to this? Like, is this the kind of property that strikes you?
I was born and raised in El Salvador, so oddly enough, we mostly got more Looney Tunes than we did Disney cartoons. And I only watched the Disney cartoons like later on, when they became available again in like VHS or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess because of the having bigger exposure to the Looney Tunes, I'm a little more to that end. But I don't know, man. I mean, this looks interesting. I know there's some criticism about how it looks, but I think they're this new again of approach and making it look like it used to back in the day, but
sure, modernized
for today's kids. And I guess that's the style that they like nowadays.
Yeah, it is a very different animation style. And I think that's kind of to Disney's credit. I mean, Looney Tunes has done the same thing, like with their new Looney Tunes animated show. I think it's a completely new show. Yeah. It has a very similar style as to what this animation looks like. If you just kind of look at how the characters are drawn and the way that they move, it's a very updated, contemporary kind of view that also harkens back to kind of like an Art Deco era. I think for my own stylings, I think that's very, very interesting. I kind of like that. And I also very much like that these are smaller nuggets. Each short is only going to be like 7 or 8 minutes, as the article points out. So we live in a society where we want more bite-sized content, and I feel like, I'm here for like a 7-minute short, an 8-minute short. Once you start getting into like the 15-minute shorts or like, the full episodes, the new Looney Tunes reboot is genius. It is so good. But it also kind of goes on maybe a little too long for my taste. But then again, I'm not the demographic audience. If you're holding a child's attention for that long, go for it. Will, what do you think of the length of these? And are you more prone to watching something shorter, or would you like something maybe a little bit longer, like 15 or 20 minutes?
No, I think it's very smart what they're doing, because that's how kids are nowadays. Like they as we have more options, our attention spans are getting shorter, and I'm sure with little kids, they've always had shorter attention spans than adults, so they know what they're going for, and uh, you know, I guess that's what Quibi tried to do, but adults are not quite that
Oh,
way. Like
Quibi.
we maybe like longer, we maybe like at least 30-minute shows, but it's not that way with kids, and Disney knows that, and I think it's really smart of them to do that, and I think this is going to work for
I
them.
agree. I think these shorts look great. But the question is for you guys, what do you think of the new Mickey Mouse shorts trailer? Are you the way I said it, it's like it's Mickey Mouse's shorts, his clothing. I'm not talking about his clothing. I'm talking about the content. Are you looking forward to a show like this? Are you going to watch a show like this? I probably will. Because like we said before, the length of the episodes, it looks like the content itself looks fun and interesting and engaging, and I'm kind of into the animation. I love like that kind of harkening back to the old Art Deco animation style. What do you think? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys. Our next bit of movie news today is this dude is the highest paid actor in the industry right now. And his very first movie was The Scorpion King. It turns out that Dwayne Johnson is teaming up with Danny Garcia from her Seven Bucks Productions company, and as well as Universal Entertainment. They are going to do a reboot of The Scorpion King. Now, if you remember, way back when The Mummy was big Universal monster movie. They did The Mummy 2, and I believe the Scorpion King, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, had a cameo in. Was it The Mummy 2? Did he have a cameo in The Mummy 2? It was tied. It was tied in there somehow. And then they did a spinoff of The Scorpion King, which was an abysmal movie. Oh my dear heavens, that was a complete bag of trash. And then I don't know why, but they did a sequel, The Scorpion King 2. Do you remember that? I don't even think it had Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. But now it appears that, Dwayne Johnson kind of wants to maybe redeem the franchise a little bit. He's not going to be in the movie, but he will be co-executive producing the movie. It's possible he may have a cameo. I mean, he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and this is a passion project. That being said, from this article from Deadline, he will be passing the reins of the Scorpion King to a brand new actor for a brand new generation, and most likely setting the story in a modern day era. I think that's interesting. I don't know if that's the best move. I don't know if that's a great move. I mean, let's look at Tom Cruise's The Mummy. Goo. That movie was not bad because it was set in modern day. That was just a bad movie. But when you talk about like the Universal monsters, and not that the Scorpion King is a Universal monster, I mean, they may try to make him a Universal monster. Maybe in like 15, 20, 30 years from now, he might be considered a classic Universal monster. Who knows? But I don't know. Setting it in modern times, just I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But I think it's a really interesting thing to kind of like bring it back. If there's ever, Will, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little something, tell me something. If there's ever a reason to do a reboot or a remake, it's to improve upon the material that came before. If the material before, I always use Ocean's 11. Ocean's 11 is one of the best examples as to why you should do a reboot or a remake. The original Ocean's 11, starring the Rat Pack, was not a good movie. People treat it like it's a great movie because it has the Rat Pack in it. You've got Frank Sinatra, you have Sammy Davis Jr., you have Dean Martin, you have a host of other people. Great. The Mummy starred Tom Cruise, and that was a bag of toilet water. But they do Steven Soderbergh came along. He got George Clooney involved in it, and they got pretty much all the other A-listers from Hollywood involved in it. And Ocean's 11 turned out to be a great, not just a great reboot, but a great movie. A great movie. So much so, it spawned 3 sequels for 4 movies total in the franchise. Will, where do you sit with this concerning the Scorpion King reboot? Are you looking forward to it? Is it a dumb idea? Where do you stand on this?
I mean, again, I think the bar is kind of low with this movie, so it can't go anywhere else but up, I guess. And at least from a technical point of view, because this movie has become like the meme and the gold standard for bad CGI. So at the very least, it might be a redemption arc for this movie and try to do something better. But I can appreciate the emotional angle that they bring into it. Dwayne. This being like the movie that basically started his movie career.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that he's invested in this project. I don't believe for a second that he's not going to appear in it in any way, shape, or form. He's got to be there somehow. But, by the time we got to the Scorpion King, I was kind of like done with the Mummy universe.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And given
burned
the
out
fact
pretty
that
quick.
we got, there's nowhere else to go but up, I guess, for this movie. So, and nobody sells a movie better than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So they've got that going on.
Now here's a question for you. I mean, I know the question, but I have like something else that I want to say as well. Let me ask you the question first. 50% over or under? Do you think Brendan Fraser will appear in this movie?
He's got to be in it.
Brendan Fraser is having a huge resurgence of his career right now. I mean, look at Doom Patrol. We're not going to get into the whole minutia of everything that's going on or has gone on with Brendan Fraser. Just know that he was a victim of sexual assault, and it really psychologically scarred him. And so he kind of walked away from Hollywood for a while. And through the help of his wife and his family and his community and his support system, they've encouraged him to, not entirely walk away from Hollywood, and he's starting to come back and do some new projects. Doom Patrol. Have you watched Doom Patrol at all, Will?
Watched a couple episodes. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but I mean, what I've seen, I've loved.
Season 1, I could not love more if I tried. Season 2 takes a sharp downward angle, but I will contend that Brendan Fraser is still the best aspect of the show. He's absolutely incredible, and so I would love to see him take part in the Scorpion King reboot in some way, shape, or form. I think. I don't know. I would just love to see him do something wacky and silly and kind of get back to that 90s like lighthearted fun that we all know Brendan Fraser for.
Yep. Yeah, I'm all for it. He's one of those like celebrities, those wholesome celebrities that everybody loves. So anything that's good for Brendan Fraser, I'm here for it. And I really, really am crossing all my fingers that he's on that movie in some way, shape, or form. Cool.
Now, here's the other thing that you brought up that I hadn't stopped to consider before. The Scorpion King has kind of become the golden standard when it comes to terrible CGI. This movie is unforgivably bad. Hold on, let me look it up. When was the Scorpion King made? Hit me with a date. Let's see how close you get, Will.
I want to say 2001.
You are so close. 2002. 2002. What? There was
which we already had the Lord of the Rings by that time. So
okay, yes. There was the Scorpion King in 2002. There was what? How many of these movies were made? Where's I don't see anything for Scorpion King 2, but there's a Scorpion King 3 that was in 2012. There was a Scorpion King 4 in 2015. And then in 2018, there was the Scorpion King Book of Souls. So that's 1, 2,
What?
3, 4, 5. There have been 5 Scorpion King movies made.
No way.
What?
This is like the Land Before Time of movies. Like, like there's how many of these already?
Wow. This is all right. I need to do a little bit of searching as to why Scorpion King 2 is not popping up on IMDb. But wow, I'm kind of blown away. I am very blown away at man, nobody wants to see me on YouTube just scrolling through IMDb. So I'll look that up later. But yeah, I think this is a great opportunity to go back into the CGI, being that the original Scorpion King was so unforgivably bad. It came out in 2001, 2002. As you pointed out, Will, 2001 was Lord of the Rings, and look at how great that CGI was. Let's go back even further. The Matrix, 1999. Granted, there wasn't a lot of CGI per se, but the camera work, the innovations that they created on that movie were mind-blowing, quite literally mind-blowing. Let's go back even further. 1993, my favorite movie of all time, Jurassic Park. The CGI in Jurassic Park still holds up from 1993. I argue sometimes better than some of the CGI that you see today. It's true.
Yeah, I remember Jurassic Park in particular was very special for my brother and I when it came out. We went to see it to the movie theaters literally every week, and we saw it like a total of 12 times.
Wow.
So when they released it again, you know, for its 20-year anniversary, my brother lives in California, so I flew over there to watch this movie together with him one more time. And I remember watching it and was like, this looks great, even by today's standards. Like,
yeah,
this movie was ahead of its time.
So ahead of its time. So ahead of its time. So yeah, I mean, they have an opportunity to do something really creative, something really innovative, and, you know, just blow the roof off this thing. You know, if Universal plays their cards correctly, this new Scorpion King reboot movie could be like a new golden standard. Instead of it just being a joke, especially with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson behind it, this could be something really special. But the question is for you guys, what do you think of the Golden King, the Scorpion King reboot? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think it's going to be good, or have you just resigned off? Did anybody else know that there were 5 Scorpion King movies? I had no clue. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, moving on to our next bit of movie news, which is not actually movie news. For anybody who knows me, you know that I have a raging hate of Billie Eilish. Now, do I actually hate her? No, I don't. I just don't care for her. I don't care for what she's like, the image that she puts out there. I don't care for her music. It doesn't speak to me. But that doesn't mean that she's not talented. That doesn't mean that she's not exceptional at what she does. She's exceptional because look at it's not just a popularity contest. Popularity is not just what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like a milestone. It's not something that we can grade other people's characters by, right? There's plenty of celebrities out there. There's plenty of popular human beings, but they're not all that talented. Well, Billie Eilish actually has the Grammys behind her to back up her claims of being extremely talented. She's 5 Grammys. And one of her most popular songs, one of her most popular music videos, has just reached 1 billion views on YouTube. Let that sink in for a second. Her music video of Bad Guy has now reached 1 billion views on YouTube. I will be incredibly lucky if I get 10 people watching this video. I'll be incredibly lucky if I get 10 people watching this video. Billie Eilish's Bad Guy has reached 1 billion views. That's no small feat. That is no small feat. I think this is an indication that she and her style and her sensibility, and yes, I've been very open and very public to say I don't like it. It's not for me. I can't stand the theme song for No Time to Die. I can't stand it. I think it's terrible. But that doesn't mean she's not talented. That doesn't mean that people don't love what she does. If they didn't, this music video would not have reached 1 billion views. There are only 282 videos on YouTube that have 1 billion views or more. She's in a very exclusive club, an extremely exclusive club. Only 282. That's it. Just think of the billions and maybe even trillions of YouTube videos that exist on the internet. And hers is amongst an extremely small club, the billion view club. Will, I mean, I've spoken at length about how much I don't care for Billie Eilish's music. It's fun to say, oh, I hate her. I mean, I don't even know her. I have no way of actually manifesting that type of an emotion towards another human being, let alone someone I've never even met before. It's fun to say, it's a buzzword, whatever. Her music doesn't speak to me. I don't like it. But where do you stand with Billie Eilish's music, her career, and what do you think this means for the industry going forward?
I mean, I think her style is very unique. I mean, I'm very bad about keeping up with music. As I get older, I feel
Do you mean to tell me that you're a bad guy? And I'm sorry, as you were.
No, but I mean, I guess a true testament to this song is that I was aware of this song as it came out, because I usually am not aware of songs until like years later. I'm like, oh wow, this song is really good, and come to find out it's been out for like 3 years. And this one, you know, it's the reason why I got to have the views that it did, that it was somewhat different from what we normally get. You know, it's very simple but catchy, and obviously it's been used for so many TV shows, movies, commercials, and you know, it was a smart move. I don't know. It's a really good song.
So where do you see the industry going from here? Like, how does the music? I mean, I get it. This is a movie talk show. We're here to talk about movies, but you know, Billie Eilish did do. She did compose. Well, she didn't compose the music, but she wrote the lyrics for the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die. She has a possibility at winning an Oscar. I mean, now that you know she's written a song for a movie. Where do you see the industry, the music industry, going from here? How influential is Billie Eilish? I mean, yeah, it's 1 billion views on YouTube. That's no small feat. But is that enough to actually change the music industry? What do you think?
It's a tough call. I mean, when I heard that she was gonna make the song for the James Bond movie, in a way, it did kind of make sense, because all the James Bond movies kind of have a Billie Eilish tone to it, like, you know, in the sense that they're very, I don't know, kind of subdued. I don't even know how to describe it.
You're on rocky ground. You're on rocky ground with me.
Right.
I disagree.
You know, I don't know. The James Bond songs have a very James Bond sound to them, and in a way, Billie Eilish songs kind of tread in that path. And
so let me see if I understand you correctly. You're saying that the theme song to No Time to Die, the theme song to No Time to Die by Billie Eilish fits right in with the pantheon of James Bond themes from the past?
I don't know if I would say it fits in, but it makes sense. Okay. I mean, I personally loved Garbage's song for the James Bond movie.
The World Is Not Enough.
Was it The World Is Not Enough? I love that song. And it kind of feels again, it kind of feels like they have the same vibe. And as far as her music, if it's gonna kind of have an influence in music going forward, maybe, but I don't know. It's very unique, but I don't know. She kind of also is in the same wave as Lana Del Rey, and those more like
Yeah,
downbeat,
it's
like
true.
very
Yeah.
simple kind of music, and there's definitely a market for that. But I don't know how much it'll influence the broader music spectrum, as for example the way like R&B does, or you know, or rock and all those other genres.
Well, Will brings up some really great points, but the question that I want to find out is from you. What do you guys think of it? First of all, do you love Billie Eilish? Do you hate Billie Eilish? Are you somewhere in between? Do you like her music? Do you like her songs? Do you like this song, Bad Guy? Where do you see the music industry going from here? I get it. This is a movie show. We talk about movies, but in this particular instance, I think it's one of those things that is worth mentioning. She's an incredibly talented young woman. She has an incredibly bright future ahead of her. Like I said, her music is it's not for me. I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. That's my era. Them's my people, right? But that doesn't mean that her music doesn't speak to a new generation, that other people can't love what she puts out there. And, I may not like it, but I applaud it. Good for her. But what do you guys think? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, we have one last bit of movie news to cover, and this actually is movie news, as opposed to our last bit of movie news. And this comes to us from Deadline. You guys, this is all over the internet. Really quick, Mads Mikkelsen, brilliant actor. A brilliant actor. He is currently in talks to replace Johnny Depp in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. We know that there's going to be a total of 5 Fantastic Beasts movies. Johnny Depp's character has already been playing this character called Grindelwald. He's the big villain of the movie. If you're not familiar, I don't want to go into a lot of depth into the story. Details are still emerging. Court cases have been had. Other court cases have yet to come out. But if you're not familiar with what's going on right now, Johnny Depp and his either ex-wife or separated wife or whatever their status is right now, Amber Heard, they either are still married but separated, or they're divorced. One or the other, doesn't matter. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have had a tumultuous relationship, to say the least. There have been allegations of abuse on both, or like from both parties. There was a there was a newspaper in England. I want to say it was the Daily Mail, but I'm not entirely sure. Somebody fact check me on that. There was a newspaper in England that called Johnny Depp a, quote, wife beater. Johnny Depp sued the newspaper for defamation of character, saying that these allegations are not true, blah blah blah. There's still a pending court case here in the United States. And as Johnny Depp sued this newspaper in England, do you like how he said I'm not going to go into detail and now I'm just explaining the whole thing? Johnny Depp sued this newspaper in England, and the court ruled in the newspaper's favor. This should have been a very easy case for Johnny Depp to win, because all he needed to do was prove a reasonable doubt that these allegations were not true. And he couldn't even do that. So things are not looking good for Johnny Depp in terms of those allegations. So in light of a court in England kind of saying, we don't entirely think that Johnny Depp is all that innocent, Warner Brothers has decided to sever all ties with Johnny Depp. He has been completely removed from the Fantastic Beasts franchise, which they've already spent a week filming. They've already spent a week filming with Johnny Depp, so now they have to find somebody to replace Johnny Depp. Because, like I said, this movie is in production right now. They're filming Fantastic Beasts 3 right now. So if you're not going to move forward with Johnny Depp playing your main antagonist, you've got to recast now. So right now, Mads Mikkelsen is in talks to replace Johnny Depp as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts movies. Now, what does this mean? What exactly does in talks mean? Yes, they're having conversations, but what it really means is that Mads Mikkelsen has already said, yes, I want to play Grindelwald. You want me to play Grindelwald, and I want to play Grindelwald. Let's make this happen. So right now, at this stage, the in talks stage means that they are negotiating payment. That's all they're doing. They're negotiating payment. They're negotiating schedules. They're negotiating the finer details. He's already accepted the role. He hasn't signed anything yet, but he's already accepted the role. So barring any new developments tomorrow or the day after, it's very, very likely that Mads Mikkelsen is going to take over the role as Grindelwald. It's not confirmed. It's not 100% yet. He's still in talks. I mean, they're still trying to iron out the finer details of this whole thing. But I mean, this whole thing, it's a mess. It's a mess altogether. I think it's best for Warner Brothers to sever their ties with Johnny Depp. I still think they should sever their ties with Ezra Miller. That whole situation is completely messed up. But yeah, Will, you've had a little bit of time for this news to sit with you. You've kind of been tracking the Johnny Depp case for, not extensively, but, for a little while. What are your thoughts on Mads Mikkelsen replacing Johnny Depp as Grindelwald? Do you think it's going to happen? I mean, he's in talks right now. We already know that he's accepted the role. Do you think they're going to find that middle ground? And how quickly do you think they're going to move on this?
Well, I think he's a pretty good actor. I think they're going to move as quickly as they can because, as you said, the movie's already rolling. And, unfortunately, Johnny Depp put himself in this kind of like tough situation where, the studio can't really be behind him once, you've been settled in court, and come out on the other end that just doesn't work in your favor. So,
well, just to be clear, there's still a pending American court case to say whether he's guilty or whether he's innocent. The whole thing in England was that the courts in England said, we don't think you're innocent. They didn't prove him guilty, but they also didn't exonerate him either. So it's this weird middle ground.
Right. Yeah, from a PR perspective, they unfortunately gave way for, a terrible label to be stuck to him. But, going back to his replacement, I guess this, gives all the more urgency to move forward with this character. I think Mads is an awesome actor. And, the Harry Potter franchise, they've done this before, totally different circumstances. But they did a very good job at, replacing actors and, still working just fine. So, I'm hoping this goes through and that, I hope, the best of luck to him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Mads Mikkelsen is a fantastic actor. This is not the casting choice I would have initially chosen to replace Johnny Depp with. But just look at this guy's career. Hannibal, playing Hannibal Lecter in a completely different way than Sir Anthony Hopkins ever did, and it was mesmerizing, right? So he's got that going for him. He played in Casino.
He was in Rogue One too.
Rogue One.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but this is the best Star Wars movie in my eyes. Okay.
Ooh, well, you're not alone. I don't share that same sentiment. My favorite, but then again, favorite and best are two very different things. My favorite is still Return of the Jedi. But Rogue One, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that hold Rogue One as their favorite Star Wars movie of all time.
yeah, I love it. I mean, Rogue One went there, and that's why I loved about it. And he was in that movie, so
Well, not just he was in the movie, he brought an emotional gravitas to it because that
hmm
role as oh shoot, I keep wanting to call her Felicia because she was in Amazing Spider-Man 2. The main character, what's her name?
uh,
It's your favorite Star Wars movie.
wait, Jin?
Hmm.
Oh, the name of the actual
Sure,
actress
pick one.
or name of the
Either
character?
or.
The character was Jin.
Jin.
Forget her last name.
So
Yeah.
playing Jin's father, he could have just so easily like phoned it in because his character, while integral to the story, he didn't have a lot of screen time. So I mean,
hmm
they could have gone with just like a more cheesy actor and like, hi, oh, I'm your father. Oh no, I designed the plans for the Death Star. Oh, gotta go, bye. He could have so easily
Right.
done that. But he didn't. He brought a very heavy emotional gravitas to it that grounded that family in the Star Wars universe. I mean,
Yep.
same thing with Casino Royale, playing Le Chiffre, one of the best Bond villains I've ever seen. Um, and his list goes on and on. Of course, he was the main villain of Doctor Strange. Like he just
hmm
he brings this emotional gravitas to him. Um, he's a fantastic actor. I would love to see him as Grindelwald. Um, I almost called you Sam for some reason. Will, what are your final thoughts here?
Well, like you said, he's good to deliver. Even a, some of the criticisms I've heard of the last Fantastic Beasts is that it didn't really give us a lot of Grindelwald. So even if this continues to be the case on the third movie, we know that he's good. I mean, he's excellent in delivering even when he doesn't have that much screen time. But I'm hoping he has more screen time in the third one. But you know, I'm growing into this choice, so I think he's going to do an amazing job.
I agree. I am also growing into this choice. I think he's gonna bring it, and especially look forward. He's got 3 pictures to do. Johnny Depp was really only in one in a bit. The first Fantastic Beasts movie, it was all spoiler alert. It was all Colin Farrell, and then at the very end, oh, mask reveal, it's Johnny Depp. Dun dun dun. So Johnny Depp was only in the first movie for what, like 2 minutes maybe screen time tops. Yeah, he was the villain of the second movie. I actually enjoyed the second movie. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good ish. But now moving forward, we're probably gonna get Mads Mikkelsen for 3 more films as Grindelwald. So I think now is the right time to recast. Now is the right time to recast. And, like we pointed out earlier, they have to do it right now because they're currently filming. So they've got to act quick on this. If Mads Mikkelsen has any crazy demands, they better meet those pretty quickly because they got to get the ball rolling on this. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think of Mads Mikkelsen taking over the role of Grindelwald? First of all, do you think it's going to go through? I think it probably will. But I guess, there's still a chance that it might not. What do you think about it? And where do you see the character of Grindelwald going from here? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys, that brings us to our last segment of the show where we take your live questions. Some of you have been firing in some live questions throughout the show, so now we're just going to go ahead and take your live questions.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
We've been firing in some live questions throughout the show, so now we're just going to go and take some of your live questions or comments, as the case may be. And our first comment comes from Dominique Lundy, and Dominique Lundy writes, ... I don't know what that means. There was a notification that came just before that said Dominique Lundy is watching. And then the next comment says, Dominique Lundy, ... So, yeah, Thanks.
He didn't like my hot take on Rogue One.
As we scroll down, Carter O'Brien Ford, who was our guest on the show yesterday. And Carter actually commented in the comments during the show so that we could read his comment during the show. It was lovely. So Carter, how are you, sir? Good to have you back again today. Carter says, don't forget I think he's referring to Taika Waititi. Don't forget he was in Green Lantern, but being in one bad project is still a great track record. That is true. Taika Waititi was in the Green Lantern movie, 2011, I think, with Ryan Reynolds. Complete garbage. Will, did you see that movie?
I did see that movie. And I didn't even know that. I mean, I only watched it once. That I'd totally forgotten about that.
Yeah. Yeah, as it should be.
You know, visually was nice, I guess. Like I like, you know, I'm a space nerd, so
Okay.
I love, you know, the whole aesthetics of the movie. But, you know, if people didn't like the movie, I can see that. I can agree with that.
You know, I came out of the theater. I remember actually I went to go see the movie with my friend Ashley. And we walked out of the theater together, and I was like, that was okay. That was all right. And then I started thinking about it, and then, you know, I ended up buying it on DVD later on. I actually think I got it on Blu-ray because they had like the DVD included with the Blu-ray back when they did that. And it was the extended version, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of itching to see this movie again. I first thought it was okay, and then I sat down and watched it again. I couldn't even finish it. I couldn't even finish the movie. And I was like, what happened? I thought this movie was all right. I mean, it's no Avengers, it's no work of art, but I thought it was okay. No, it's complete. It's unwatchable. It is unwatchable.
Wasn't this around the time where Darkest Night, the whole storyline was coming out? Because I remember talking a lot about that, and maybe I was on the Darkest Night kind of high.
I think they had already transitioned to Brightest Day. I think the comics had already transitioned. Yeah. But yeah, Darkest Night already happened, and then I think they were going into Brightest Day. And I don't know, again, like if somebody's watching, please fact check. Jump down to the comment section below and fact check us on that. But Will, you were saying?
No, I'm saying that maybe because I remember around that time, I like comics, and especially DC. So I remember that a lot of the talk around comics in that time was around the Darkest Night, Brightest Night, then this movie came out, and I guess that made me be a little more forgiving of this movie when it came out. But yeah, when I saw it again, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I love you, DC, but we got to do something about this.
I mean, it was a valiant effort. They tried to do something new. It did not work very well. This was DC wanting, like, this was their answer to Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This was them like, all right, we got a really good actor with Ryan
Reynolds.
Thank you. I completely spaced on his name for a moment. A really fun, charismatic actor with Ryan Reynolds. We're gonna have Green Lantern kind of be like this is our entry point into the DCEU. They had just finished, or they were in the process of finishing up the Dark Knight trilogy, and the ideas were there. They set it up. Actually, if you remember, they set it up so that Mark Strong was going to come back as Sinestro Corps. Like Sinestro had turned from a good guy to a bad guy, from green to yellow.
Yeah, the yellow. Yeah.
And he was going to come back with Sinestro Corps, and like it left us with a cliffhanger, and I was like, oh boy.
Right. You know what? But I can't go that hard on DC because we put it to this standard to, next to the MCU as it stands, as we know it today. But let's not forget that Marvel had a lot of Daredevil, Blade 3, they had a rough start too.
Wait, you would say you mean Daredevil on the movie?
No, not the series, the movie.
Well, again,
Elektra,
that wasn't
Marvel had a rough start too.
But I will make the delineation. That was Marvel Entertainment. That was not Marvel Studios.
Yeah, but I mean, Marvel was all over the place in the late 90s and
early to mid 2000s. That's true.
Early
Yeah, I'll
2000s,
give you
yeah.
that. I'll give you that. But until Kevin Feige came along and they established Marvel Studios, that's what changed everything. Complete
Yep.
game changer. Complete game changer.
Yep.
We got off topic, but yes, Carter. Taika Waititi being in Green Lantern did not tarnish his career. Andy Sarno says replacing weird with weird. I think it can work. Replacing weird with weird. I think it can work. What were we talking about? Maybe Scorpion King?
Santa Jaws? Wait.
Santa Jaws. I think Andy is referring to the Scorpion King with the reboot, replacing the old film with a new film, like a really weird film from 2002 with a really weird film from 2021 or 22, whenever it happens to come out. If it comes out in 2022, do you know what that means? The Scorpion King franchise has been around for 20 years.
Dang, and 5 movies apparently.
Well, I mean, it was 6 movies if with this new one coming out.
6, yeah.
That'll be 6 movies in the Scorpion King franchise. Ooh, pardon me.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just stop drinking seltzer water, you guys, because I feel like my ablutions are always happening throughout the show. My apologies. I'm a disgusting human being. I don't know. I mean, like, Andy, I go back to I'm addressing Andy Sarno. Andy, I kind of go back to the whole idea of if you can reboot or remake something better, like way better, if there's a reason for this property to exist in a new envisioned kind of way, I say go for it. I think that's the problem. Like when people talk about, I hope they never do a Back to the Future remake. Back to the Future is a perfect trilogy. It's perfect. We don't need you can't do Back to the Future 4 without Doc and Marty. You can't do Doc and Marty without Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. You can't do that better. I think that's why the Footloose remake didn't work. Because what do you have to improve upon? The original Footloose was a perfect movie. Same thing with Surfing Criminals, Point Break. When they remade Point Break, you can't remake Lightning in a Bottle. Like, what made that movie was Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. That's what made that movie. That's what made it fun and special. So just to remake it as a cash grab, no. There are certain properties that you should not remake or reboot because I'm sorry, but you are not going to improve upon it. The original Godfather 1, 2, and 3. I mean, yes, I understand that what's his bucket is Francis Ford Coppola is doing a recut of Godfather 3. He's including more elements in it for the 30th anniversary release, which I think that could be pretty cool. He's doing a re-edit. Maybe put some deleted scenes back into the movie and maybe change some of the context a little bit. I think that could improve the movie a little bit. But at the same time, like, they're not remaking Godfather 3. You don't remake something unless you can improve upon it. Scorpion King.
Well, Scorpion King.
No, go ahead.
I said Scorpion King is not a Godfather 3.
No, it is not. Scorpion King 3. Not a Godfather 3. Yeah, I don't know. Like, nope. This is my official stance. Like, it's okay to do reboots and remakes, but only if it's going to be better. If you can do it better, it's going to make money. That's how that works. And it's show business. It's not show friends. Like, Hollywood is a business. It's a film industry. They need to make money. It's a business. I think this is something that we can all wrap our minds around. I mean, we love to sit here and be like, yay, dinosaurs. Yay, fast cars. Yay, space laser swords, right? Yeah, we love all that stuff. but they're not going to do more unless they make money. And you can't make money unless you improve upon the pre-existing thing, right? Just my 2 cents. I don't know. Economics 101. That's what makes sense in my brain. Will?
I think maybe, I don't know if I'm a little off here, but I think also the point he was trying to make is that they should also kind of embrace the fact that they know what this movie has become over the years, and not, obviously not replicate it, but, be maybe a little more self-aware of what it's trying to do. And it might actually end up helping the movie.
Well, I think that's what's so great about Fast and the Furious. Even though I've never seen any of the movies, I understand what it is. Like, I understand what Fast and Furious is. When you say Fast and Furious, I know it's this self-awareness of, this could never happen, but guess what? We're going to do it anyway. Cars in space.
Yeah, cars swinging on helicopters.
Come on. It's ridiculous. It's a ride. We know what we're getting. We know what we're signing up for. So, yes, I agree. Yeah. A self-awareness to just, it's going to be weird, but let's make it, fun weird. That could be really cool.
Yep.
All right, guys. That does it for our comments of the day. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Thanks for sticking around and watching the show and just hearing what we have to say. Will, thank you, sir, for jumping in, for taking some time out of your busy schedule, out of your busy day to come chit-chat movies with us for a little while. If you could do me the honor, where can people find you online, and do you have any fun, interesting projects coming up in the future?
People want, they can follow me on Instagram, the handle down there, and I don't know, I'm just thinking of doing some. I used to do comics as a teenager, thinking of getting back into that.
What?
Might be doing some of that again.
Dude, what? Okay, now you got to tell me, what kind of comics did you draw before or write?
Well, when I was 17, I got really, really sick from my lungs, and I was literally not allowed to leave my house for what ended up being 3 months. So in those 3 months, I used the whole time to make a comic, and I did it based on, I'm from El Salvador, so I did it based on the Mayan culture there. And I basically made it circling around the disappearance of the Mayans. And I had these 3 main characters who were granted powers by Tlaloc, which is the main god, and what they did to try and save their people from the invasion.
Dude.
So I'm thinking of rebooting that.
I had no idea. That's so cool. I want to read it.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what else is swirling around in that brain of yours. So, Will, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for providing your expertise and your particular insight into movies and movie culture.
Thank you for having me. It was super fun.
All right, guys. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Ryan Reynolds from the Green Lantern would want you to do. Anyway, guys, this is Gotta Love Them Movies, your daily dose of movie news. I'm your host, Mr. Mike Brown. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. You guys, we live in a weird world where everybody has their own ideas and opinions, and sometimes those ideas and opinions clash. So if you have an opportunity to infuse a little bit of kindness into the world today, please take that opportunity. Also, speak kind words to each other. Please speak kind words to each other. And speaking of words, in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. I'll see you guys tomorrow.